I love a nice round ass.
A plump,
get a hold
juicy
of.
ass.
Yeah. That's my jam.
Kind of got off script there. Hey, it's Megan.
And Sue in the restricted section.
And today we're going to do a wrap-up of our Booktube-A-Thon.
Yeah, and we both did pretty decent this time around.
We fared well this time.
Yeah.
We did.
We fucked that Booktube-A-Thon up.
Fuck off, Booktube-A-Thon. We got you, bitch.
And we're going to drink some blueberry jam.
From Tallgrass.
From Tallgrass.
Who can do no wrong in my eyes.
We'll see. Blueberry Berliner Weiss.
German-style tart wheat ale brewed with blueberries.
Brewed with blueberries.
Say that with blueberries.
Mine foamed a little.
Oh, yep.
Ooh, it's tart.
Oh, fucking.
Oh, no.
Oh, no, Billy. Let's do it.
That's very tart.
See, I don't think it's as tart as I was expecting.
I just drank a Sprite, so maybe that's why.
Oh, that might be fucking.
You just drank a ginger ale, though.
I did.
I mean, I don't hate it, but it's more tart than I was expecting.
I was expecting a lot.
So I don't love it.
I don't mind it. Not shabby. Not too shabby.
It does definitely taste like blueberries, though.
It does. How's that going for it?
Yeah. All right, so
do what?
I completed 6 books.
And I completed 5.
Yeah, and I got real close to that 7th, but I didn't finish it on time.
I got close to a 6th, but I did not.
Yeah, so should we talk about the ones we both read first?
Yeah, we can do that. Let's do that.
Okay, so let's talk about... This is the one that I actually barely didn't finish on time, but I have since finished it. And that is Through the Shattered Looking Glass by M.L. Crane.
Yes, and she was kind enough to send us each a copy of her book.
Yes.
Which is awesome.
Yeah. And this is an Alice in Wonderland retelling, and in this, Alice is an adult, and she has been given an internship at a mental health institute, and then things start to get strange.
Shit gets fucky.
It really does.
Mm-hmm.
And I flew through this. I actually read it in a day, or less than a day. I read it in like a few hours, like 2 or 3 hours, I think. But I thought it was super compelling, the plot.
Yeah, it took me a little bit to get started, but like once I got started a little bit, like probably once I got like 40 to 50 pages into it, then I was really like sucked in.
Yeah.
And I thought it was super compelling.
Yeah, so the plot was definitely really strong and really sucks you in.
Mm-hmm.
The writing, I feel like it could just have used more extensive editing, because I don't think the writing was bad by any means, but there was just some of the descriptions were repetitive and things like that, where I think it
could have used a little bit of a heavier-handed editor.
Yeah.
But it was not bad writing.
Like, I know she's working on a sequel.
I'll read that.
And yeah, I'm interested in reading that, because I definitely want to see what else happens.
I know, because that ending was like, wait,
yeah,
what?
The ending was a little...
It was cliffhangery.
Yeah, but I really enjoyed reading it. I think we both gave it 3 stars.
And that was my book for read a book with a person on a cover.
And I didn't count it for any of the challenges because I didn't actually finish it. Within Booktube-A-Thon.
So the next book that we both read was Every Heart a Doorway by, tell me about that. Sean and McGuire. And this is a book about like a boarding home for children who've been to other worlds. And then also shit gets fucky. Yeah. So,
I really enjoyed reading it, but I found it ultimately unsatisfying.
Yeah, like I could see what you meant, because Sue told me, like, she read it first and she said it needed to be longer. And when I read it, I was like, I think you're right, because I loved it. Like, I really liked the story and I thought it was really cool, but like there was a lot of stuff that was just kind of, I wanted to see it more developed.
Yeah.
And it just felt kind of like unfinished.
Yeah. And I didn't love it. I liked it a lot, but I didn't love it. I think I gave it 3 stars. But I did debate. I was like, should I give it 4 stars? But I ended up giving it 3. And it is another one where, like, the story was compelling enough that there's a prequel.
Oh, okay.
That follows the characters Jack and Jill.
Oh, okay.
In their magical world.
In the moors.
Yeah, the moors. So there's a prequel, and I do want to read that because I do find it interesting and want to know more. But I just feel like if this had been like a full-length novel,
there wouldn't need to be a prequel.
Not necessarily, or just I just felt unsatisfied with the book because it just was too fast. Like everything was too fast.
Yeah, I can agree with you there. I wanted like there to be some more development, like with each of the characters and their different worlds they visited, and yeah. Oh, show. I think I gave it 4 stars because I had a good time when I was reading it. I liked it.
All right, and then this is the last one we both read, I believe, right?
Yes.
So we both read book 2 of Bitch Planet. This is President Bitch by Kelly Sue DeConnick and Valentine DeLandro. This is a graphic novel, and it's set on this prison planet called Bitch Planet. Women are sent there if they commit any sort of like indiscretion whatsoever.
Kind of act which a man
if they
finds
act
offensive.
out a little bit. I loved this one.
I gave it 5 stars.
I gave it 5 stars as well. I liked it better than the first one.
I did too.
I think I gave the first one 4 stars, but this one was so good.
It was awesome.
Yeah, I loved it. I don't know how long it'll be before the next one comes out.
But I want to read it so bad.
I can't wait.
So bad. It's so good.
Yeah. Every Heart a Door was our heart book, and Bitch Planet, I think we both counted it for...
a book we read outside.
Yeah, and I also counted it for a book I read in a day. Or I guess I could count this one for that. Whatever. It doesn't matter.
Don't matter.
But the first book I actually read for Booktube-A-Thon was The Hobbit by J.R.R.
Those RRs really trip you up. RR?
And I buddy read this with Jessica and Christina from Game of Tomes, and that was a lot of fun. I love those 2 ladies. If you haven't checked their channel out, go do it. We'll link it down below.
Yes.
But yeah, we technically started the buddy read a couple days before Booktube-A-Thon, but I immediately was behind. So I pretty much read the whole book during Booktube-A-Thon. I think I read like 14 pages before Booktube-A-Thon started.
So it counts.
Yeah, but I counted this for a book with a person on the cover, because you can see a little Gandalf, I was like, wait, that's the wrong one. No, Gandalf.
Gandalf.
Little Gandalf and little Bilbo are there on the cover, and I love The Hobbit. This is the second time I read it. I read it last year.
It's so good.
And it's just a really good time. I really loved it.
I
even loved it more the second time around.
Really? I'm gonna have to reread it. I'm a little ruined though because ever since we did that like challenge, every time I see
Baggins.
that's all
Dildo
I see.
Shaggins.
Dildo Shaggins. So then the first book that I actually read for Booktube-A-Thon was Bird Box by Josh Malerman. I read this in a day, so I counted it for that. This book was real bleak. It was really good. And when I finished it, like there's a lot of questions that it doesn't answer. And so I rated it 3 stars. But now I think I'm going to go back and change it to 4 because I kept thinking about like how creepy it was a couple days after I read it. There's something going on where you can't look around outside because if there's things out there that if you see them, that you go crazy and you're driven to violence. And so most people just kill themselves, but some people take other people out with them. It's about this woman who takes her kids down a river blind to a place where they might be safer. So
I really want to read it. I'm sad that I didn't get to that one because it sounds really good.
It's a super fast read and it's fucking creepy.
Alright, and this was like the 3rd or 4th book I read. I don't remember. But I read Matilda by Roald Dahl, and this was my cover by challenge. I had marked this as read on Goodreads, so maybe I read this as a kid and I just forgot. So it might have been a reread as well, but I enjoyed it. I thought it was a good time. It is like reading it as an adult. I'm like, this is kind of fucked up. There's like a lot of bad child abuse in here. So I was kind of like, this book's a little fucked up. Like, I don't know. I guess it was fine to read it back when I was a kid, but these days I don't know if this book would fly.
Alright, so the second book I finished for Booktube-A-Thon is The Queue by Basma Abdelaziz. She's an Egyptian journalist, and this was written in Arabic and then translated. And this is about like a dystopian land where it's led by this ruler who lives behind a gate. And for literally like anything that you want to do in life, you have to get an answer from the gate. And so it's about this man who's waiting in line for an answer to save his life, basically. And so he's waiting in line in the queue, but there are never any answers given. Like nobody ever comes to the gate and does anything. So this book was not as good as I had hoped it would be. Like I just didn't really care about any of the characters, so it wasn't like super compelling for me. Because they all were like, I don't know, they all kind of fell flat for me. So I just wasn't, I was like, well, whatever happens to you, I guess. Whatever.
And this was the last book that I've completed for Booktube-A-Thon, and I feel like I cheated a little bit because I went rogue. Oh wait, I totally forgot about one of my books. I'll talk about that next. But I kind of cheated twice a little bit, in my mind. It wasn't really cheating because Ariel Bissett said that these books count, but I went off the TBR and read a comic book because I knew I could finish it in time. And I read Batman the Killing Joke, and this is by Alan Moore and Brian Boland. And I really, really liked this. This is like the Joker origin story. I really liked it, but I also wasn't sure how to feel about it at the same time, so I ended up giving it 4 stars, because like, I don't know how I feel about the Joker having an origin story at all.
That's fair.
And then there was some like, I'd heard before reading this that the Joker rapes Barbara. That's what I had heard.
That's what I had heard.
And then I read this, and I'm not sure that that's true.
I don't think he, I mean, maybe I'm being naive, but like, I don't think he does.
Well, there was a couple of times when I feel like it would have been weird not to say it if it had happened.
Right.
In the text.
Right.
Because it's definitely, you could interpret it that way.
Yeah.
You definitely could.
You could.
But, yeah, like I said, they never show it, they never say it, and there are a couple of times when I'm like, if that had happened, I feel like it would have been said by the characters.
Right.
So, I don't know. Unless the authors have said differently, I don't know if I think she was.
Yeah.
I hope she wasn't, because that kind of ruins the Joker for me. So,
Right.
and I don't want that to happen, because I really like the Joker. But, yeah. There was definitely, like, you know, violence against women to further the plot of men, which is never, like...
Never a cool thing.
Great, but...
Right.
But other than that, like, I really enjoyed the comic book.
I really liked it, too. And to be fair, there is violence against men to further the plot of men, too, so...
That's also true, yeah.
It's an equal opportunity violence.
Yeah.
You know.
And there's both male and female nudity.
That's true.
Humiliating nudity.
Right. Well, see, that's always my thing with nudity, is I'm never, like, opposed to nudity in anything, but, like, let's make it equal.
Yeah.
You know, like, there's a lot of titties, but there's no
everywhere.
dongs, you know?
Exactly. Which, I mean, I guess it is a little bit more invasive or whatever to show a dick.
Yeah, but they
than to
show,
show
like,
boobs.
full frontal
Like,
on
they're
ladies
not-
all the time, you know?
Yeah. I mean, in a way I understand, because it's like, to show my vagina, you'd have to, like...
Get up in it.
Get way in there.
Right.
That would be an awkward nudity shot, and I feel like the equivalent of showing a penis would be showing a vagina.
Yeah, but what about full frontal nudity?
But full frontal, but yeah.
Like, it's not, look, it's not my fault that dudes keep their genitals on the outside and mine is neatly tucked away. That's not my fault.
Here's what I'm saying, though. At least show me some butts.
Yeah.
Show me some man butts.
Man butts are good.
I enjoy butts.
I like a man
lot.
butt, yeah.
I'm an ass girl.
Are you?
I like a man with a nice ass. Show me some man butts.
I mean, I can appreciate an ass, but I wouldn't say I'm an ass girl. I don't know what kind of girl I am.
And I have one more book that I finished.
Yes.
That I totally forgot about until a minute ago. I listened to an audiobook.
Oh, that's right.
Yes, and
I
I
forgot
listened
about
to
that
it because I was going to Kansas City for the weekend, and I was like, man, I'm not going to have time to read. But I had this audiobook that I've been meaning to listen to, and it was The Brain Electric, The Dramatic High-Tech Race to Merge Minds with Machines by Malcolm Gay. And this is about basically what it says is about. Like, it's talking about like prostheses and mainly like medical advances to help people who have lost limbs or who are paralyzed or people who have epilepsy or ALS to be able to move machines using their brain.
That's awesome.
So that they can, do everyday things again.
That's really awesome.
And it was really interesting. I actually really liked it.
Huh.
Yeah, and it is kind of dry, so I feel like if you don't find the subject interesting, there's like nothing else to really pull you in. So you have to just be interested in that subject. But I thought the narrator did a good job too. His name was Patrick Lawler. He did a great job reading it. There was nothing about him that bothered me. I think he did a good job of having a distinctive voice for each person, because there's a lot of quotes in it from researchers and research subjects, things like that. So I think he did a good job of like having a distinctive voice for each person, because if he hadn't done that, I think there were times when he might not have realized that it was a quote, you know what I mean?
It might have been confusing.
Yeah, so, but I really liked it. I thought it was super interesting, so.
That sounds pretty awesome.
I think I gave it 4 stars.
Nice. Was that your book for your book about technology, your Read Harder challenge? Cool.
Yep. So I finished 6 books and 6 challenges.
And I finished 5 books and 5 challenges. So 5 books and 5 challenges. Yeah.
All right. So, and the beer, I really don't love it. I don't like that really tart aftertaste.
I kind of like it. It's not bothering me too much.
I'm not that into it. Let us know how you guys did at Booktube-A-Thon.
Yes. And as usual, there'll be links down below where you can find us elsewhere on social media.
If you haven't subscribed yet, please do.
And we'll see you next time.
Bye.
Bye.